So in the world of AI developer tools, you come across some pretty interesting things. But this is a fascinating story. We have one creator, Kazi Musharraf, who built two completely different AI command line assistants. And no, this isn't a story about version 1 and version 2. These are two totally distinct projects, built on, well, opposing philosophies. It's really a tale of two digital teammates, and it brings up a really big question.
Yeah, seriously, why? Why would a developer build a second, completely different tool when they already have one that's working? That's the core mystery we're going to unpack here. This isn't just about a list of features, it's about two fundamentally different visions for how we're all going to be coding with AI in the future.
All right, so let's meet our two contenders. In this corner, we have Friday AI, which you can think of as the enterprise powerhouse. It's this comprehensive, feature-packed toolkit built in Python. And in the other corner, you've got Vibe CLI, the agentic specialist. It's focused, it's intent-driven, and it's built in TypeScript. The contrast is already pretty stark, right? Comprehensive versus focused. So let's dive into the powerhouse first.
Friday AI, it's designed from the ground up to be an all-in-one solution. Think of it less like a helper and more like the command center for a really complex enterprise environment. It's not just about writing a little bit of code, it's about managing the entire development and operations lifecycle, the whole shebang.
And look, when I say powerhouse, I am not kidding. The project is sitting at over 50,000 lines of code. This is not some simple script, it's a huge, mature system designed for some serious heavy lifting. And that size really reflects its massive scope and capability.
So all that code is there for a reason. Friday is absolutely packed with enterprise-grade features. We're talking about autonomous modes that can actually fix their own errors, agent swarms that can tackle problems in parallel, and a RAG system for deep code-based understanding. It even has direct Kubernetes integration. You can literally manage your clusters from the same tool that's writing your application code. Now, a huge piece of Friday's power comes from its integration with the .cloud folder. This isn't just a little feature. It's an entire ecosystem that lives right inside your project. As you can see here, this folder lets Friday load up specialized agents, skills, rules, and workflows, which makes it incredibly adaptable for those really complex corporate standards and big tasks. Okay, so that was the heavyweight champion. Now let's totally switch gears and look at Vibe. If Friday is a big command center, Vibe is more like your agile engineering partner. And it's built on a completely different philosophy. At the absolute heart of Vibe is this idea called the 8 primitives architecture. So instead of having hundreds of different features, it has just 8 fundamental rock-solid capabilities. Everything it does, whether it's scaffolding a brand new project or fixing a bug, is just a combination of these core primitives. It's a design that really goes for elegance and efficiency over just sheer size. So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, let's say you give Vibe a complex task. First, the planning primitive breaks your request down into concrete steps. Then, multi-edit jumps in and applies those code changes across all the files that need them. After that, execution runs tests to make sure everything still works. And crucially, the final step is approval, which makes sure a human signs off on anything risky. It's safe, logical, and totally transparent. And you can really see this philosophy in Vibe's commands. These aren't low-level file operations. They are high-level, intent-driven actions for the way we build things today. You don't tell it how to write a CI/CD pipeline, you just type /CICD and tell it what you need. It's all about just stating your goal and letting the agent figure out all the messy details. Okay, so we've looked at both tools on their own. Now it's time for the head-to-head analysis. Let's put them side by side, because this is where that why build two separate tools really starts to become crystal clear. Honestly, this slide just nails the analogy. Friday AI is the Swiss Army knife. It's got a tool for absolutely everything, giving you total, comprehensive control. Vibe, on the other hand, is the scalpel. It's designed to do a few things with incredible precision. With Friday, you're in charge of the process. With Vibe, you just state your intent. And the hard data here backs this up completely. Just look at the languages. Python, which is dominant in the enterprise world, versus TypeScript, the language of the modern web. Then you have the architecture. Friday's complex, event-driven system versus Vibe's minimalist 8 primitives. The core goals, the interaction models, they're completely different. These are truly different beasts.
So this brings us right back to where we started. Why build two of them? Well, the answer is because there's no single perfect tool for every job. The right AI teammate depends entirely on what you're trying to do.
Okay, so let's make this practical. Looking at these two philosophies, which one actually fits your workflow? Are you the person managing a massive, complex enterprise system, or are you rapidly building a new web app from scratch?
Here's a quick cheat sheet for you. You're probably going to reach for Friday if you're working in a big enterprise. You need that fine-grained control over things like Docker and Kubernetes. Or maybe you're dealing with a huge legacy Python codebase. On the other hand, you choose Vibe for modern web development, for quickly scaffolding new projects, fixing bugs with a single command, and basically any time you want to focus on the what, not the how, especially if you're living in a TypeScript world.
And here's the most important takeaway of all. They aren't competitors. They are complementary solutions. They represent two different, but equally valid, visions for how AI can help us. One is about giving an expert total control with a massive toolkit. The other is about creating a focus partner that just understands your intent. The creator didn't build a rival, he built a choice.
And that really leaves us with one big final question, right? This whole story is kind of a microcosm of a much larger debate happening in the AI world. What is the ultimate AI developer tool going to look like? Is it going to be one single all-encompassing platform, kind of like Friday, or will it be a collection of specialized intent-driven agents like Vibe? The answer to that? Well, it's still being written, one line of code at a time.